Hey guys, Michael from Fire and Brilliance. And today's episode, we will be going over 5 pro tips to consider when shopping for engagement rings. So if you are looking and are in the market right now for an engagement ring, if you're planning a proposal, if you are planning on marrying the love of your dreams, this is the episode to tune into. Okay, so I'm going to give you 5 quick tips in terms of shopping for engagement ring. I'm going to make it very nice and sweet and quick and easy. Okay, so the first one is always consider the style. It is so vital. Okay, so we are Fire and Brilliance. We are a jewelry company, as many of you may know. And if you don't know, we are a jewelry company, but it's very important based on our experience with our customers. I cannot tell you how many times people will screw this up, right? Many times people will shop for an engagement ring thinking that's something that their significant other would want, as opposed to something, so they're actually shopping for themselves rather than shopping for the person they're trying to propose to, right? So it's very, very important to consider the style that your significant other, your partner, your lover, your boyfriend or girlfriend is into. Okay, so it's very, very important. If you don't know, then it's important that you ask her close friends or family members, right? Make sure you ask for his or her close friends or family members. Know their style, know their taste. Do they like a solitaire? Do they like a halo ring? Do they like a 3-stone setting? Do they not prefer a center stone at all? Maybe they want something simple. What is it that they like? How is their fashion? Are they loud and proud, or are they simple and they like to stay quiet and not be so loud, right? So it's just really, really important to understand their style. Then you can settle for the type of design, which is a solitaire, a 3-stone setting, a halo. You want to add filigree, you want to be extravagant, if you want to keep it simple. So it's extremely important. Make sure that you do your research in terms of her close friends and family members to know exactly what she wants. Okay, that you're gonna have to be creative in terms of how you get that information, but it's very important because the last thing you want to do is purchase a ring, especially if it's a custom ring that you can't return, and then you're kind of stuck with it, right? So that's number one. Number two, the big pro tip is determine your budget. This might even be number one. It's a very close first and second. Okay, the budget is very important because by determining your budget, you will be better off understanding what you can purchase in the marketplace, because the cost of a moissanite is different than the cost of a cubic zirconia, is different than the cost of an alexandrite, is a different cost than a diamond or a blue sapphire or a lab created versus a natural, or a mined versus a treated gemstone, right? So there's a lot of different costs in jewelry. And are you going with a contemporary metal, or are you going with precious metals? Now, typically, if you go with precious metals, it'll cost a little more in terms of gold, platinum, palladium. These types of metals will cost more. And are you planning on buying a mass-produced item, which typically costs a little less? Or are you planning on customizing your own ring, which typically will cost a little more? And it makes sense because you are paying for the labor to create your own very unique piece, right? So it is very important to understand your budget, so that way you're able to work with people that can work around your budget, right? So so make sure you have the parameters there. So that's the first two quick pro tips. Now, the third one is make sure, and I can't emphasize this enough, okay? Make sure you work with a reputable jeweler, right? By working with a reputable jeweler, you are working with someone that knows their craft. How do you find a reputable jeweler? Well, there's a couple of filtering processes, right? I've made a couple of videos of this in the past, but let me kind of just break it down for you. So in order to find a reputable jeweler, first of all, what you want to do is understand how long have they been in business, right? If they've been in business for a very long time, then it makes sense that they have been doing it for a long time, right? So hold on, so that means they've been doing it for a long time, right? So if they've been doing it for a long time, then that sorry guys, we're having some technical difficulties here. Give me 1 second here. It looks like, give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. There's something going on at the moment. Um, Oh, it looks like sorry guys. I was going off of a different program altogether. I completely apologize. I think this the topic today is actually 5 quick tips when shopping for natural or lab grown diamonds. What I had was 5 quick pro tips when go shopping for an engagement ring. So, well, you know what? I can do that next episode. And if you've already been watching, you already got the first two. So I do apologize about that. But you know what? Let's just continue with this. Okay. So let me go ahead and start this over. It's actually 5 quick tips when shopping for a natural or lab grown diamond. All right. And this is the first time we screwed it up this like this, but again, so good thing you guys caught on. The next episode will actually be 5 quick tips when it comes to shopping for an engagement ring. So if you actually liked what you heard earlier, those are the first 2 bonus tips. I'll go ahead and go over the next 3 in the next episode. Okay, so today's episode is actually 5 quick tips when shopping for a natural or lab grown diamond. Okay, so let me go ahead and start that over here. So 5 quick tips when shopping for a natural lab grown diamond. Number 1 is consider your budget. So very similar to considering your budget for an engagement ring. It's very important that you consider your budget when you're purchasing a lab grown or natural diamond. And it's important because, again, if you don't know how much you want to spend, you will not know what you are able to purchase, right? Because, again, every single gemstone is different. A diamond versus an alexandrite, a mined versus a lab grown, a moissanite versus a cubic zirconia, so what is it that you want? Do you want a color gemstone? Do you want, or what is it that you actually want? So in terms of natural and lab grown diamonds, it's important to understand the differences between the two, right? As of the moment, natural diamonds are much, much, much more expensive than that of lab grown diamonds. However, if you already know, you've been following our channel for a very long time, you may already know that there is no difference between the two. A lab grown diamond is 100% diamond. It is made of almost 100% carbon, right? The only difference is that one is made of made in the ground and in nature, whereas the other one is made in a lab. And because it's made in a lab, it can be controlled, and therefore the cost and the pricing structure can be controlled as well, which makes it very favorable for people, right? So consider your budget. If you can consider your budget, that you'll know what the maximum amount you're willing to spend on a diamond, and try not to waver from it during the purchasing process, regardless if it's a natural or a lab grown. Okay. Number 2, assess the 4 C's. You may ask, what are the 4 C's? What are you talking about? Why is it not called the 4 A's or B's? Dad joke, right? It's the 4 C's, right? The 4 C's in diamonds is very simple. It's color, clarity, cut, and carat weight to determine the overall value of a diamond. Yes. So typically, I mean, there's a lot more factors that goes into purchasing a diamond and the price of a diamond. But most people, when they are purchasing a diamond, the 4 main indicators of what determines the price of the diamond, again, is the color, the clarity, the cut, and the carat weight. To quickly do a run through, I've made an episode of this before too. We could definitely leave the link in the comment section below later if you want to check it out. The color is basically, if you're purchasing a diamond, regardless if it's natural or lab grown, typically the whiter it is, the more expensive it is. The warmer or slightly yellow it is, then it's less expensive. Unless you're purchasing a very fancy colored diamond, such as an extremely yellow diamond called the canary yellow, or a red diamond, or a pink diamond, or a blue diamond. And those are very, very expensive. But those are exceptions, right? But if you're talking about cleared stone, white diamonds, the more white it becomes, the more expensive it is. So that's the color. The clarity is the clarity grade. How clear is the diamond? When you look into the diamond, is it clear? Or are there a lot of inclusions and imperfections? The more inclusions there are, typically the less expensive it will be. The fourth is the cut grade. Now, many shapes do not have cut grades other than round cuts. But for round cuts specifically, there is a way that cutters and manufacturers of diamonds will cut the stone to maximize the sparkle. So if you have an excellent cut or an ideal cut, that typically will determine maximum sparkle that will come out in terms of the light reflection from that specific stone. Okay. And last but not least is the carat weight. The heavier it is, the more expensive it will become. The lighter it is, the less expensive it is. So that's the reason why many people say, "Hey, I want a 5 carat or a 4 carat or a 10 carat or a 20 carat." Obviously, the bigger it is, the more expensive it is. So that is the assessing the 4 C's. Okay, so the third quick tip when shopping for natural lab-grown diamonds is make sure that you look at the diamond under magnification. Right? What does this mean? So all that means is that you want to examine the diamond up close and check for flaws and assess its beauty. Because when you're looking at it under magnification, what you're doing is you're finding imperfections in the stones or part of the 4 C's, which is the clarity grade. Again, the more imperfections or inclusions in the stones, typically the less expensive it will be. The clearer the stone, typically the more expensive it will be. Now, that said, that does not discount many people's opinions in terms of clarity grades. There are many people out there that love the uniqueness of an imperfection or an inclusion. That is called the salt and pepper diamond, right? So that's actually very popular these days, where every single diamond that you see is like a fingerprint. They're all different. One inclusion that is in one diamond cannot be duplicated in the next, right? So in other words, that is the important part about examining the diamond. Now, number 4, shop around. It makes sense, guys, to shop around, right? So to compare options from different jewelers before making a decision about the diamond to purchase. Well, there's no reason to not shop around. I think it makes sense to make sure that you are maximizing your options when you are shopping for a diamond, so that not only that are you working with someone that you can trust or someone that's reputable, but at the same time you're getting the best bang for your buck, right? And at least personally anyway, for me, normally I don't always settle with the lowest and cheapest price. I know many people do. I do too, but depending on the product, right? But if I'm going to purchase a product where I know it's a luxury item that I want for it to stand the test of time, I normally don't go too cheap on it. But what I normally would do is shop around to make sure that I'm shopping the best of the best and trying to find the best deal from the best of the best. So that's just my tip, right? So yes, definitely shop around. I think it makes sense for you. Don't be impatient. Shop around, and if you trust the person, if you find that they're reputable, if they know what they're talking about, if they've been in the industry for a long time, they're knowledgeable, and at the same time you like the price and it's fair, then go for it, right? So that's what I would do. That's tip number 4. Now, tip number 5 is, if you can, I understand that might be a little more expensive, but if you can, definitely try to get a certificate. Okay. What is a certificate? A diamond certificate for lab grown diamonds, and at the same time natural diamonds, is basically a stone that has been sent into a gemological laboratory to have professionals grade it by manual grading and by machine to determine the 4 C's: the cut, the color, the clarity, and the carat weight, right? By getting the certificate, all that is basically saying is this stone that you are wearing is actually all of the specifications of it is on the certificate, so that you are getting what you're paying for. So by getting a certificate, it validates what you're paying for, and it gives you a peace of mind. Especially if you're going to purchase a natural diamond or a very expensive lab-grown diamond, I think it makes sense to have a certificate, so that it gives you a peace of mind, because you're going to hand someone, 5, 10, 20, $30,000 or more. You might want to know that, hey, you're actually working with somebody that's not only reputable, which is tip number 4, but at the same time getting a certificate so that it backs up the purchase, right? So I hope you guys really enjoyed what you saw, the information that you got here. I hope you got a lot of value. I do again apologize for going over the wrong topic. That was actually for this Friday. So I'm going to go ahead and go over that this Friday. You got the first 2 tips. And again, I'll go over it again on Friday. But would you choose a diamond, natural or lab grown? And if you would, and if you're in the market, if you're shopping for a lab grown diamond, I hope that you really got a lot of value out of this episode, because I know a lot of people, especially now with Valentine's around the corner, with the summer around the corner and vacations coming up, many people around this time of year are planning on their proposal. So if you are purchasing a diamond for a proposal, or you're just purchasing a diamond for yourself as a gift for yourself because you've passed a milestone, congratulations. But leave a comment in the comment section below, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, follow us on other social media platforms as well. We are also on TikTok and Instagram and Twitter and all of the platforms. We Fire and Brilliance. You can follow Fire and Brilliance, which is our company, and at the same time, you can also follow me personally, which is Michael_FNB. You can also follow me on LinkedIn, which is Michael Wynn. Right? You can just type in Fire and Brilliance. You'll be able to find me. For other types of content, I do post a lot of business content as well, if you are interested in that. Again, we make these episodes every single Wednesday and every single Friday. Thanks again for tuning in. And right here on your right hand side, as soon as this live stream is over, it is based on the previous episode. All you do is click on it, tap it, and it will take you there to watch. Okay, I'll see you again next time. Goodbye.